Hi guys, and welcome to a review of the AXC-SIM tree brake mod for the Logitech wheels G25, G27, G29 and G920. Review, also a little bit of a look at installing the pedal and just my general thoughts. So first of all, why would you buy this tree brake mod? It costs somewhere in the region of 50 odd pounds, £54 as memory serves. Well, to give you a bit of an overview where I've come from, I started on a G25 wheel quite a while ago now, and I really liked the wheel and I liked the pedals back in the day. The brake on that was just a potentiometer and a spring, so you pushed it down. The further you pushed it, the better the braking you got, the bigger the readout in the sim. A few years ago, when I was bored, sat on standby all the time in Doncaster, my first airline job, I got myself a G27 and a wheel stand. The G27 plugged into the PlayStation 4 I'd also bought, and the nice thing about the G27 as far as I was concerned was the brake pedal had a bit of rubber stuck in it. Now what that means is the first bit of the travel was very much like the G25, and then as you got a little bit further into the travel, you then reached a rubber block which increased the pressure, so you were pushing against a piece of rubber. It still worked in the same way as the G25 in so much as it was a proportional distance that you pressed a potentiometer down, and I think there was some clever wizardry built into the system as well. So once you'd hit that rubber and were pushing in that last bit, there was a sort of a ramp on the curve that existed. That leads us to why that would be important. Well, I now present to you this Nigel Mansell autobiography, bought for the princely sum of £16.99. This, by the way, guys, is a collector's first edition, and I've had a look on the internet. Apparently it's worth about £87 now. Who knew? Maybe I should sell it. Our friend Nigel then, he suggests in this book that he would like a firm brake pedal in a racing car. In fact, he suggests that if it's not firm, if it's like your family Ford Focus, and you push the brake pedal down, it's got that kind of spongy, quite a long travel on it. It's like pushing your foot into a bucket of shit. Thanks, Nige. Not an image I wanted, but it's what he says. This guy says, you need a firm brake pedal. My experience of real racing cars, not a lot. I've driven a few over the years, mostly on experience days, bit of Formula Ford, Palmer Sport, that sort of thing. And what you find is that the brake pedal on the fast stuff, when you push it, it hits a wall and then you're just pushing hard against it. You can really control the braking hard. That's what we're looking for really in a sim rig, if we can do it. And a lot of sims with the high-end pedals have load cells. If you've used a load cell pedal, I haven't used an actual load cell, but I'm familiar with the process. It tries to replicate that high-end race car experience whereby you push the pedal down, it hits a wall, and then it's just reading pure force. It's very much the same way now that kitchen scales operate. So I have some coffee scales, for instance, and as I push down on those coffee scales with coffee, it deflects a metallic beam. It still moves, but it really doesn't move a lot. You know, we're talking tenths of a millimetre sort of movement at 5 kilograms. The big boys in the racing car scene, you're looking at 90, 100 kilogram load cells. Tree brake, 20 kilos. So why is it different to a load cell? Well, it's still a potentiometer, ultimately. That's all it is. But it's not using the same potentiometer that other brake mods like bits of rubber, stronger springs use. In the box, you get a number of parts, various different little inserts which affect how the mod works. But ultimately, all those inserts give you is the first little bit of travel on the potentiometer, the very first bit before it bites hitting that wall. Once you've hit the wall, you're then compressing a very, very tight little spring inside the mod itself. And yes, it does move, but it's only a small amount. It's, you know, a few millimeters from going from 0 to full travel, full brake pressure. So it's kind of like a load cell, but it's important to remember it's not a load cell, it's still a pot. I know there's at least one other YouTuber out there who's absolutely incandescent that this thing is advertised as a load cell. Well, no, it's not advertised as a load cell. Yes, the guys have been perhaps a little bit cheeky and they've pushed it hard as a mechanical load cell, and that's, I don't know what one of those is. It's clearly a potentiometer setup, not a load cell. But do you know what? For 54 quid, you're getting a lot for your money. Me, I've used this thing now for a little bit, and I don't profess to be a brilliant race car driver or simmer. You know, I'm an airline pilot. That's what I do. And the brakes in those things, they're fly-by-wire brakes. So we're used to sort of pushing down and having absolutely no feeling at all apart from through your bottom. You know, are you being pulled forward in your belts? Or has the anti-lock kicked in if you're really sort of stupid with your feet? But that said, having had a go at doing a little bit of PS4 with this, I haven't tried it on the PC yet, but in PS4 games, at first I thought, yeah, it's nice and hard. It's improved the feel of the pedal. Has it done a lot for my driving? Well, no, my driving was just as bad as usual. But I took it around a half-hour race, and the thing I noticed was, unlike the original Logitech pedal, where every time you hit it, you were like a test pilot. You were finding where the braking was each time, and it wasn't consistent. I was so much more consistent, and I could start to explore my braking a bit more. I knew what I was getting, and my lap times, they came down. It's brilliant. Honestly, I cannot say anything better than I would recommend this. If you want a relatively inexpensive, easy to install mod, and this is it. So installing the mod, dead easy. What we're going to do is take out all the screws on the bottom, which unbolts the pedals from the base plate, which is plastic, as you know. From there, you're essentially going to take the brake pedal out, remove the original Logitech parts, and then you simply replace what was there, the spring and the lower part of the piston, with the AXC-SIM tree brake mod. The same wiring's used. It plugs into a little multi-plug rather than onto the original potentiometer. When you are taking it off the original pot, do use pliers. It's easy to do. And I think if you tried and pulled it by hand, it would be hard. You could hurt yourself. Moreover, you could tear off the connectors. So just get some needle nose pliers on there. Give them a wheel. They'll be off in seconds. Job done. Once you've taken it all apart, put it all back together, make sure the cable routing's done properly, that everything's clipped in nicely, nothing's going to get trapped. Screw it all back together and you're ready to go. It's that easy. I hope this gives you a bit of an insight into what I think about the AXC-SIM tree brake mod. I just point out that I haven't been paid for this. You know, nobody sends me free stuff. This came out of my own pocket, and I ordered it. It took ages to come because Rob Green, who makes these things, I guess he's one-man banding this. The workmanship is beautiful, Rob, if you're watching this. Thank you so much. I'm loving it, and I can only recommend anyone that wants a little bit of an upgrade on their G25, G27, G29, G920 Logitech wheel and pedal setup without going down the hugely expensive route that you could do with the load cell mod. Give it a try. Honestly, you won't regret it. That's all for me for now. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. I'm going to try and bring some more, probably a little bit more aviation related coming up when I get a bit of time. Maybe, and guys, leave me some feedback if you want to do. If we perhaps we could consider talking about the Embraer that I used to fly. and hopefully we'll fly again once the current situation's over. But you know, there's plenty of good stuff to talk about. So you know, pop it in the comments. Tell me what you'd like to know about, and I'll talk to you about it. For now, though, that's all. Take care, stay safe, and bye.